What is up, Buck fans, Bucks Nation, Bucks everything? The Buccaneers are officially in the playoffs in 2020. It has been
Ooh.
that type of a year. 2020 has been crazy. And guess what? The Buccaneers are in the playoffs after a 13-year drought. So, guys, get loaded in the comments section. Let us know how you feel about this. It's insane, crazy. But let's just start it off. They kicked the Lions' ass 47-7. It was started from the beginning, from the get-go. Tom Brady had literally for 30 minutes had probably the best game I've seen all year, obviously. I don't know how good it was stacked against his 20 years, but he was pretty damn good. Defensively, they played well the whole damn game. They didn't allow any points. That was special teams that gave up the points. So other than that, this was possibly the first 60-minute game they played all year. And boy, did it look good. I mean, they could have probably scored 60 if Brady stays in the game. But I'm done with my rant. I haven't said anything. I'm Mark Ramirez. This is Michael Plus, as always. We are Real Bucks Talk. We bring you all these film studies, live streams on Monday. Hopefully every time it's a Victory Monday. But Plus, what's your opinion about this playoff spot? And how do you feel as a Buck fan?
No, it feels great. It's a long time coming, just to say the least. I feel very happy for the fans that have, witnessed all the bad that we've seen over the last, however many years, 13 years. It's been over a decade. So just all the fans that have stayed with this team and been, true fans throughout, since they, started watching the Bucs or whatever. But just really happy for everyone in the Bucs community. It's a big moment for this team just to get into the playoffs. I think is the first step. Obviously we don't want that to be the only step. We want to go farther and win the Super Bowl, obviously. But this is a big moment for this team. I'm very happy for Levante David, Mike Evans, Will Golston, those guys that have been on this team forever. It seems like, and now they finally get a chance to taste the playoffs. So very, very excited, to see this occur. And yeah, this game was, we pretty much had it in control from the beginning. A little shaky to start, luckily we got that penalty and then it was just smooth sailing from there. So that's how I want to see the approach going forward, attack, pass to score, run to win the game. That's how you do it in the NFL. And that's what they did in this game. And use the play action pass early and often. They're aggressive on first down. They didn't have to use third down a lot because they won on first and second. And, that's what this team's capable of if they continue to do so.
I mean, I said it earlier on Twitter. I was saying how it looks like Leftwich is learning how to use the play action pass. He's slowly learning how to use his players. It's not just Brady learning. It's pretty much Leftwich learning as well. I mean, learning how to use this quarterback in the system, learning how to just use everything. This is his second full year with this cast. Third year in total calling plays? Right? I mean, he didn't even fully call plays at Arizona until midway through the season when they fired the head coach. So, insane. I mean, yes, I give him a lot of hard verbiage, I guess you could say, a lot of hard words, but he deserves it. I mean, you have the best cast of players on offense you can ask for. You have 3 number 1 wide receivers. Use it. 2 great tight ends. 1 possibly of the best of all time. It's hard to mess that up. But he kind of was doing that early. But I want to also touch on this. Maybe a little bit of this is also, like Brady was saying, consistency. I mean, just adding and sprinkling a little bit of more. But we always talk about the turnaround of coaches. Everyone wants, after a year, oh, this coach sucks, get rid of him. Or 2 years, terrible. But you look at some of these coaches that have been there forever, they just keep running their same system, but they make sure they execute it better. That's what it is. Because every system truly does work. I mean, the Chiefs system, as opposed to ours is force the ball down the field. Theirs is more short pass. The Rams, short pass. RPO, the Eagles, stuff like that. They all work if you run it executed perfectly or to perfection, right? So, I mean, some of this could be just Brady getting used to it. Now he's running it correctly. Because a lot of the plays they did, again, it's the Lions, guys, I know. But still, I want to see execution. We weren't doing that at all throughout the season. It's getting better. Maybe it's finally starting to click. I would like to see this against a winning team, but we'll see. Other than that, yeah, kudos to David, Golson, Evans, all these guys just well deserving. All of them have been playing. Golson's been playing out of his mind this year too. It took it to another level. But congrats, all you guys. Some people in the chat. I can't pronounce this name at all. Nah, Nehemiah. I don't know. He said, "How old were you guys in 2007? Last time the Bucs made the playoffs?"
17 for me.
18 for me.
Yep, we're in high school.
Yep. So it's been a little bit. It's sad but true. And yeah, the next question was Nestor Cervantes. Where were you guys last time the Bucs made the playoffs? High school.
Yeah, Tampa. Just
Probably
watching the game at home.
Either Soho or Ybor, probably. Most likely. I'm just saying. Ronnie Wilcox, 9th grade when they won the Super Bowl, just joined the Army in 2007. Damn. It's been a while, guy. It's been a while, right? How your lives have changed since watching the Bucs.
Yep.
I mean, overall, this team, I know I say don't get too high, don't get too low. The potential is there. It's always been there. It's more, do they mess it up? Right? I mean, it's because we still have not beaten a playoff team besides the Packers. And we slaughtered them.
Yeah.
The Raiders are officially not going to the playoffs. So other than that, we've beaten a bunch of nobodies. Yes, the Falcons may have given the Chiefs a hard, tough run yesterday. But still, I mean, they're not beating anyone. I mean, what do you think about that? The people that say we've beaten no one.
Well, I mean, we're 8-0 versus, teams that we should beat. That's still something. Again, you can only play the guys that are on your schedule. So you got to go out there and win games. Yeah, you would like to see them be better against, teams over 500, sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just the way the season has gone. You win the games that you're supposed to win, and they did that. 6-2 on the road. That's very impressive. And usually when you go 6-2 on the road, you're in the playoffs. So very, very excited for that. And this team, I think, like you said, it's finally showing signs of putting 60 minutes together. They did that, on Saturday, which was good. But it was all about the approach, and I like that they came out with that type of approach. They understand that they need to attack early and often. And do it in the right way with the play action, utilizing their receivers, how they're supposed to be used. And then, same thing with Gronk and getting those guys involved. So, understanding that, Keyshawn Vaughn is a better running back than number 28, and they use that right. And, that was nice to see. So hopefully that continues going forward. And like one of the comments said, this was without Rojo. So that's very impressive too. So hopefully we can get him back and, get Carlton Davis back for this week. But yeah, it was just a solid win against a bad football team that, this is what you're supposed to do to those teams. And it was nice to, pretty much just relax throughout the whole game and just enjoy it. And, you move on to the next one.
I mean, you kind of said it. You play your schedule. You can't. Oh, well, I wish we could face the Saints right now. We'd win. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
I mean, you could go through the Saints schedule and say the same damn thing. I mean, if you look at who they've played and who they've beaten, pretty much say the same thing. So, I
mean, but either way, let me just go over here really quick. The Buccaneers have clinched a playoff berth. I mean, that clinched playoffs, guys. Black and white right there. That's your team name right there. What I thought was kind of funny, I mean, it's always weird with all these scenarios and stuff. We're 10-5. The Rams beat us. It would be weird to me that we already clinched. If we lost against the Falcons and the Rams won, in my head, I was like, oh, well, the Rams should jump us, right? Tied record. But like you always say, you're the numbers analytics guy. It goes by conference record, correct? So technically, we would still be ahead of them. Is that accurate?
I believe. Well, no. If we're tied, then it's head to head. It goes head to head, and then it goes, conference record. So I mean, the Rams already beat us, so they would have the advantage if we tied.
But is it just because? I guess there's other routes because to me, I'm like, wait a minute, how the hell have we already clinched? If the Rams are 9-6, if they win, we lose. You would think we'd drop out, but I guess it's because no other team has that type of record. No other team would be 10-6.
Well, we just
Right.
I mean, that's the case, and also it goes by conference record, and you have head to head, and then you have conference record, but
Yeah,
ideally we want to win Sunday,
absolutely.
so we clinch the 5th spot. We win, we clinch the 5th spot. If we lose, then things get dicey, and I think we can only drop as low as number 6. We can't drop to the number 7. So
Well,
it'll either be 5 or 6.
so technically, the Washington football team,
Mhm.
is a front runner for us to face.
That's correct.
Say if they lose
Well, if they lose,
and the
then
Cowboys win,
it's open for Cowboys or Giants. So
yeah.
if Washington loses, then either the Cowboys or the Giants would be the opponent.
Either way, I'm happy with our matchup. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we want to get that 5th spot. So, like Bruce Arians said today, he's going to play to win. So that's a good sign. And I think that's the right way to go. You don't want to give these guys rest right now and lose momentum. We did that back in 07 when John Gruden was here. The last time we went to the playoffs, we rest guys, the last 2 weeks, and we had really no rhythm in that playoff game against a Giants team that was rolling, and we just came out flat. So, I like that Bruce Arians is going to stay aggressive here and play these guys this week and go for the win. So that's a good sign. And yeah, you want to play, the NFC East opponent for sure, because that's the best matchup you can hope for. Because if you're the 6th seed, then, you probably have to go to Seattle, which is a little bit tougher. But again, not a lot of fans in the crowd, so really the home away thing doesn't really matter this year because of COVID, but
Yeah.
it'd be a tougher opponent against Seattle and Russell Wilson for sure.
I'm not so sure about all that. I mean,
I mean, their defense,
defense is terrible.
Their defense is not good, and the offensive line is suspect. I mean, so
Well, I mean, again, don't get too high because we're beating teams we should be beating. So I can't wait till we actually play a really good team in the playoffs. That sounds good to say. But let's keep going on. Let's get to some of these questions. I don't know why it doesn't say a name, but do you guys believe we wasn't trying to not show our hand with plays this season until the playoffs?
No, I'm going to say no on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. I mean, they play to win the game, like the Herm Edwards cliche quote. There's no way they would do that. I mean, some people were even joking like, oh, maybe they're throwing this out route, interceptions and out route, just so there's going to be an out and up later in the postseason where we're going to burn everyone. It could be. I mean, that's just scheming and drawing up plays to perfection, timing, sequencing, things we talk about. It's not necessarily holding things back.
Right.
But to that credit, that that play action pass against the Lions that they had called back on a flag, where they did play action fake, an end around fake to Antonio Brown, and then Chris Godwin running an over route wide the hell open in the end zone.
Yeah.
Thing of beauty. Stuff like that we haven't been seeing. They got a little bit more creative, but again, it's against a team that is very lackluster and missing a lot of key pieces that could have generated pressure to mess that up. So that's one thing I want to talk about against this Lions team that we saw against subpar teams like the Broncos, like the Panthers, elaborate blitz schemes, elaborate offensive plays, things where they were just throwing things out there just to test it out almost that it didn't do against the good teams.
Right.
Why? I do not know. I mean, it's not like you're just testing it for the first time in the game. These are plays you've been practicing since training camp, since just in general, you had a longer training camp because there was no preseason. But so these are things that you should already know how to do. I don't know why they wait for the lesser teams to do it. I just don't get that because the blitz concepts, amazing. But against a lesser team, I just rinse and repeat. If it works once, do it again. I mean, because why do all this fade back coverage stuff against Drew Brees and then send the house or just weird, funky blitz concepts where JPP and Shaq Barrett all drop back and everyone else runs in the A gaps. I mean, give me a rhyme or reason for that one.
I'm with you. I don't really know. I mean, again, it's on it depends on, time and score, situations. All that factors in, down and distance. That plays a big part of it. But it's something I've been talking about. It's just being consistent with your approach, understanding what you do best and who you are as a football team. If you're great at play action, utilize that. Use that to your advantage early on, especially when teams expect you to run the football.
They did, though. They did.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They
Loved
did.
it.
I'm just saying, like, to your point, why did they do that against better teams? Like the Saints, like the Rams, etc. That's the question. I don't have an answer for that one, but hopefully they're starting to figure it out. Over these last 3 weeks that okay, this is what we do well. We understand that we run the football better out of shotgun formation. Just different things that, we're starting to see defensively. They're understanding that Devin White can't cover in zone. So they're utilizing him in blitz pickup,
Or
blitz
just
back.
using it very infrequently.
Right. And, using him as a extra blitzer, or they're, putting him on a guy to cover, one-on-one. So
Yep.
just making it easier for everyone around them. Understanding that maybe Sean Murphy Bunting is not the best option. He's kind of struggling here lately. Maybe using more Ross Cockrell, who's come on very strong and played well. Jamel Dean getting better with his eyes and understanding where to go as far as being in the right spot. So just different things that are getting better, and hopefully they're getting better at the right time, which, we're only a couple of weeks from the playoffs starting. So, this is the time to get it all, on the buttons, as you can say, and get it ready. So, yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean,
Right.
see what happens. I mean,
Proof's in the
if
pudding, right?
if Tom Brady can play like he did in the first half, I think we're in good shape. And a lot of experts and people on TV were saying, if you protect Tom has time to throw, then this team is very dangerous. And I agree with that. If the protection's right and we can throw the football, then we should be fine going forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Also, I want to, on defense, give credit to Shaq Barrett and JPP. I watched the game over again. They did excellent in dropping back into coverage. I mean, you saw the JPP near interception, but
Yeah.
consistently they would drop back immediately to their spots. There was no thinking. There was no trying to be a hero, faking going in, going out. Did you see Shaq Barrett get beat that at all this game?
Not really. No.
He was just flying to a spot. I mean,
they're
yes,
definitely learning.
Yeah, it's a lesser team again. Like, it's not like we play the Saints, but it's still like, knowing where your spot is, not overthinking it, not trying to overplay it, doing what your job assignment is. That's all we've been asking, and they did it. I mean, both of them played excellent, like especially in coverage. Like you were mentioning, Ross Cockrell, he did play very well. Very heady. Some of the quick screens they were throwing, he was already on it. SMB did play better. I'll give him credit.
Yeah.
And also Arians today said that he's been dealing with a lot of nagging injuries.
Right. That's a fact.
It goes like we were talking about last week. Like, that had to have been
you can see it. Like
reason,
it is. Yeah, you can see it. His play speed is nowhere where it used to be. Especially in the season. So yeah, it's definitely affecting him.
Yeah, I mean, he's been almost a shutdown corner before. Don't at me, guys. But there's been times his rookie season, where he did do well. He played pretty damn well and did shut down one side of the field. I'm not saying he's Revis Island or anything. I'm just saying he's played much better than what we saw against the Falcons, and that's why we kind of insinuated it could be an injury due to injury. But I mean, other than that, defensively, they're figuring things out as well. You hope it carries over to face winning teams. Because to be honest, the Falcons game last week, we're literally stopping first down here or a flag there from like really not letting them do anything in that first half. So to me, like, that, it's so small, the margin of error, but I mean, they're starting to get it. Let's see some. Oh, so he corrected me here. It's Nehemiah. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna try and screenshot that and remember it for later, or I'll just go back and because yeah, I see you in here all the time. I need to learn how to say that better. But thank you for correcting me on that. Let's see. Danny Danilo, he's in the chat. He says it's like Washington getting in with a losing record. Just well, you never know. They could lose out. Someone else said in here that they could lose out and end up not making the playoffs. Let's keep going down the line. Danny Danilo mentioned play calling, but it's improving. So I mentioned the defense. Defensive play calling's gotten better too. Offensive play calling. Oh, but he said, "What's you guys' biggest fear in the playoffs? Defensive backs." I guess we'll touch on both those, and we'll kind of sprinkle in some of the Lions' takes. Defensive backs are better when you get a better pass rush. Let's just face it. It is. They work together. This is a team game. If they have to sit there and cover for 7 seconds, they're going to get beat. That pass rush has to be there. That's why Mahomes kind of at the end of the game took over because he was running around giving time for his receivers to get open. Right. So to me, if they keep using Devin White the way they are, this could be insane how good that defense can be. Yeah. Because they sent David White, send in the normal corner blitzes they usually do. You continue that consistently, it's going to work, especially if your guys drop back and cover those zones. It's going to work. I very much like the possibility of that. Defensive backs, the secondary, I'm okay with. It's more, does a pass rush get home? That can always help you. And then I'll let you touch on the offensive play calling.
Yeah, the play calling, I like you said earlier, it's been better. It's not really the play call. It's more of the design. So whatever that design is in the play call, the sequence of it, how you utilize it, it needs to be better and more consistent as far as the approach goes. I thought, definitely, obviously against Detroit, it looked like everything worked because, again, you're facing a lesser opponent. So, it made it look like everything was rolling good. Everything was called great. But when you get against these better teams, the approach and how you stack these play calls up needs to be very good. And, the utilization of, no huddle and, speed up tempo like we saw with Tom Brady at times in that game against Detroit. That's stuff you want to see. The check down stuff to the running backs, over the middle or to the sidelines was very good. Utilizing your tight ends or receivers, across the middle, with slants and drags and stuff like that to help your quarterback out when there is said pressure or, so those things have been better. They still need to work on their hot routes and blitz pickups because at times that has been questionable. They don't really have an outlet if pressure comes and, Brady has nowhere to go with the football. So that needs to be improved. But yeah, the play calling is definitely on trending upward. So hopefully that continues. But really, it's just the approach. They need to come out with that mindset of attacking and scoring early and often. If they do that, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and something else you touched on, which we always touch on, is passing out of running formations and running out of passing formations. Or better yet, throwing a short pass out of a 5 wide receiver set kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like multiple times you saw a 4 vertical route concept and Fournette, little 5-yard dump goes for 13, 15 yards. They ran a 4 verticals inside the 20 or inside the 15, I think it was. And that's what Fournette got us all the way down to like the 3-yard line, and then they run it in after.
Right.
Insane. Stuff we've been asking. You spread out, use the whole field, and then running a 13 personnel, which we've been doing multiple times the past couple of games. I love it. Stuff we talked about in the offseason. This is possibilities can be endless. They're starting to do it. I don't care if Joe Haeg is one of the tight ends. It's still a jumbo set. Yeah. You saw times where Gronk, Hudson, and Brate were on the field at the same time. Amazing. Keep doing it. Teams don't know whether it's a run or a pass. And the fact that all 3 of those guys can catch, can make something happen after the run, after the catch is awesome. Keep doing it. You're that loaded everywhere that teams don't know what the hell could happen. Even the touchdown to Godwin, it was a very similar running concept where Godwin comes down in the box. They think he's going to block. No, he just dragged across, man defense. Oops. And Brady makes a perfect pass. Stuff like that they're doing consistently. I don't think it's just because it was a subpar team, injury riddled, without their coaches, blah, 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 say whatever you want. I think it's just more they're executing plays, and Brady's starting to get it. I call me devil's advocate. Oh, they suck against good teams. I agree with you because they haven't proven they can do it, but instead of the Packers, but
Yeah, and
overall,
and another fact to add to that, they were really force feeding the ball to Mike Evans, which was really nice to see. But they're doing it in a smart way, with getting him the football out in space, whether it be the quick pass to him on the outside or utilize him in the play action game, trying to go downfield. The touchdown passes that he caught were really nice. Just good plays. So yeah, it was really good to see that, him and Brady were getting on the same page, that good connection. It seems like that is starting to grow and hopefully he breaks the record. I think he'll get it this week against Atlanta on Sunday. He only needs 40 yards, so I think he'll probably get that in the first quarter
and
probably.
then take his ass out.
Yeah.
I do not blame it if they just take his ass out right immediately after.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
have plenty other weapons to use, guys. Now, I don't
right.
mean that, we're going to lose the game. No, it's more
Right.
take his ass out. He deserves it.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, that's the kind of offensive approach that we want to see, use that play action early and often because, I mean, look what he did in the second half. You're able to run the football, with Keyshawn Vaughn and really grind the game out. I know you had Blaine Gabbert in there, but still you're able to make things happen because of said play action early on, and it was successful. It just opens up everything else the rest of the game. And, you got on top of them 13-0 in the first quarter and then continue to add on in the second. That's the kind of stuff you want to do. You want to get 20 points before halftime and then continue to add on in the second half. So, that's what you do. You pass to score, you run to win the game. Pass in the first half, run to finish it out. That's how you do it.
Sounds clean.
Yep.
And the way they've been running has been better too. More efficient and effective, like BA's been saying. You don't have to force feed the run, especially if we're not a great running team.
Yeah.
It's just running effectively, like pulling Donovan Smith, pulling Tristan Wirfs from the other side, doing stuff that isn't just a typical block down, go upfield. That's what everyone else sees. We don't really pull that much. When we do pull, it could be a pass, it could be a run. It's scary. Teams don't know. Right. So I love that they're doing that more often. Great. This was a big point someone put up there. This is also something they've been doing. Furu Kawab.
Yeah,
I think that's correct. Love how Brady used motion pre-snap all game.
Yeah, no, that was good. That's definitely what they need to do. And back to the running game, I'll give 28 credit. He actually made people miss, which was awesome to see. So big kudos to Mr. Fournette, and I hope that continues to go forward. But obviously, I want Rojo back in there, and hopefully we see more, Keyshawn Vaughn as well. So really good.
Yeah, someone else up in the chat was mentioning that. I was trying to find it. Whoever mentioned it, yeah, he did play better.
Mm-hmm.
His hands were better. Yeah, this is also playing into some of the questions here. So Danny Danilo said, why doesn't the great offensive minded coach Bruce Arians have a couple good screenplays? TB12 excels at the screen game. Mm-hmm. And then immediately after, someone responded. Jack Barrett said, because they don't trust the running backs to catch them, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Danny's
true.
Right.
That's true, but they also have really good receiver screen game.
Yep.
They use the receivers well. I mean, Tyler Johnson had a big catch, 35 yards on a screenplay. So, stuff like that. They're going to use the screen game differently. It's not going to be with a running back per se. Not saying they can't do it because they've shown they can, but yeah, just the consistency of it just hasn't been there, unfortunately.
And also, to be honest, depends on the defense they're playing. If they have linebackers that like to rush immediately, okay, then the middle of the field will be open. The running back will probably get the ball faster. Mm-hmm. You don't have if your safeties are really far back, throw it to the wide receiver really quick. All he has to do is make one man miss, and he has an easy 10 to 15 yards right in front of him. Makes another man miss, he's probably got a touchdown. Like that Tyler Johnson play. I mean, one man and freaking Donovan Smith's coming after the other guy, destroys him. So it's just using your guys. They're finally using everything they got. They are running screens. It's just to the outside receivers. Yeah, that's something BA likes to do a lot. We've seen in Pittsburgh with AB. They've tried one with AB. It didn't really work. They've tried it to Mike Evans. They tried it to Godwin. They tried it to everyone. It's just using what they have, and they're doing it. Hopefully it continues. And, outsmart themselves, thinking, "Oh, better team. We got to think to coach better." There's no coaching better. You just keep doing what you're doing. That's working.
Right. And I love the smoke routes that they've been running to Mike Evans, especially when he's got, off coverage. Guys are playing him 6-7 yards off the ball. You just throw it out to him. That's an easy 5-yard gain. You're going to take that every time because that's like a running play right there. So that's stuff that I like seeing, just using that, quickly. It's a great first down play. You get positive yards, and that's something I hope continues to go forward.
And I just have to say it one more time. The way they use play action, keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Leftwich, they're going to ask you again. Please just own up. Say we're starting to understand how good it is. He didn't use it at all. Like maybe 6 plays,
Mm-hmm.
and now it seems like every big play is a play action.
Oh yeah, it's been that way the whole season. You look at all our big plays; they're all off of play action or some type of action, whether it's fake quick fake, long fake, don't matter. It's working.
Keep it up. There was another quick question over here. So here it is. Jared Vole. If I can bring this up. There we go. Why do I see some Buck fans hating on Brady? Like, what's up with that?
Well, there's always going to be haters,
right?
Yeah, no matter who the player is. I mean, there's going to be haters everywhere, and again, there's still people out there that have watched Brady for so long, being on the Patriots, and they've hated him so long because of what he did with the Patriots.
Oh yeah,
that hate just hasn't gone away yet. Even though he is on the Bucs now, it's going to be there, and and most of those haters are probably the ones who wanted Jameis Winston back. So
yeah, 100%. I was going to say
a lot of that goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest. You better check your sheets.
Yeah.
I mean, he passed Jameis in touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to pass him in yards. Obviously, he ain't going to pass him in interceptions. But it's.
I mean, Brady's the franchise record holder for passing touchdowns in a season now with I think 36, correct? And he's got 39 total touchdowns with the 3 rushing touchdowns that he has. So over 4,000 passing yards. I think he's second in passing yards behind Patrick Mahomes. He's got a 100 quarterback rating, over 65% completion. I mean, we can't ask much more than that. I mean, he's been playing outstanding. So,
let's go. Oh, he's number 4 in passing yards.
Okay,
let's go take a sneak peek
because of last night. Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
let's just
take
this into consideration. Like this dude's 43 years old.
Yeah,
65, almost 66% completion percentage. Jameis hasn't had that ever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
36-11. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, he's already beaten Jameis in that. So I think it is, like you said, just people who would have wanted the other quarterback who will keep not pounding the table for him, saying, "Oh, this is what it was." Your teams move forward. You have possibly the best quarterback to ever play the game, justifiably so. 101 QB rating. Jameis never had that. he good. That boy good. I mean, how else can you say? Thank you, Tom Brady. I mean, and he hasn't even mastered anything yet.
Yeah,
and he's doing that well. To all the haters that said, "Oh, every quarterback that's in BA system the first year just sucks the day's D." Well, he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I think also they realize, if protection is good, like I said in the beginning, then Tom Brady's going to be just fine. He's going to tear people apart. So I think they've been really emphasizing on the protection, making sure, they have everyone picked up, and max protection, whether, max protect or, making sure the 5-man protection is set up the right way so they can pick up these, blitzes that they have to face or, whether it be a 4-man rush, whatever. Making sure he has enough time. Also moving the pocket more, I've seen, moving the pocket either left to the right or to the right, which has been better. And we even seen Tom extend plays with his legs, which is very impressive. Yeah, so really, really good to see. But if they can keep him upright, then he's just going to continue to do damage. The only negative I have from Tom is just that first play of the game. He has Godwin open, he just misses him. So we like to see that go away. But he was on target every play after that.
Yeah, it's so very odd. Like usually it is the beginning of the game.
Mhm.
He's just off for some reason. I don't get it. I don't know. So I
Yeah.
don't know. That's just
Yeah.
weird. And that truly was on Brady. That miss to Godwin. That's
Mhm.
not. Don't say, oh, but there's pressure in his face.
Yeah, no, he just sailed it.
Evans touchdown. There was pressure in his face. He threw a perfect ball. I mean,
Mhm.
come on.
Yeah.
Like
No, he just
he is a.
sailed that one.
I guarantee he's mad at himself for that
Mhm.
play. All right, but before we keep going on, there's a bunch of people in the chat, a bunch of people watching. Make sure to hit that like button for us if you haven't just yet. I know you haven't because there's more people there in the like button. Help us out. Hit those thumbs. And other than that, keep bringing all this awesome comments in the chat. I mean, keep bringing your points, your opinions. I mean, this is literally what we use the show for. I mean,
Mhm.
or you guys are the show, which is extremely cool and
Yeah, it's awesome to see, we're seeing a lot of new names in here, so that's
right.
great. Yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome. This is funny. Guru Kawab says, to be fair, Jameis got LASIK eye surgery. Yeah, he did. He did. Good question. Nestor Cervantes says, will next year be even better? I
Yeah,
personally think it would be.
it should. It just depends on who we have on the team. You know, there's a lot of moves that are gonna be made, but, you know, you're pretty much gonna have the core back. So, yeah, it should be a better team, especially with Tom in this system for another year to get better, and chemistry is gonna be on point. So, yeah, it should be a better team.
But that's next year. Let's keep. I mean, we got one game before the playoffs, and I want to go deep run into the playoffs.
Mhm.
It's insane that we're 2 weeks away from it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It
Yeah.
put things in perspective. 2 weeks from that, and then I'm like 3 weeks away from the baby boy being born. So a
Yep.
lot of big things happening.
Big month for the new year. Yep. Yep.
So if we have a deep run, these live streams may be weird. These film studies may be weird. I mean,
It's
let's
okay.
see what
It's
happens.
okay. I'll get Harley, you know, my fur baby on here, and we'll talk. We'll have the dog bark at your baby boy, and then baby boy will yell back. So
I may have to do like
it'll be fine.
you may hear babies crying in the background. I don't know. I may come out with eyes like this big because haven't slept or anything.
It's okay. It's all good.
If we make a deep run, I'll be in a Bucks high though. I'll say that. But here's Danny Danello said, talking about the screens again. He said they have Shady for screens. He can catch, run, and make people miss.
Mhm.
What do you think on that?
Yeah, I like Shady. I think Shady again. Yeah, he dances too much too. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's a little bit too much dancing. I like to just see him, you know, cut and go. Um, but yeah, he's definitely a weapon when he's out in the open field.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I say we should probably use him more. Like when no running back could catch a ball, I was like, why the hell is LaShawn McCoy inactive all the time? And
Mhm.
then the one time they put him in, he produced. So should he get more pass attempts? Probably. He was in there a lot on third downs or just pass attempt opportunities. He just didn't get the
Mhm.
ball because other people were open. But I mean, I see this game. They found plenty of holes to attack, and they did that. They didn't force a screen because the Lions just couldn't honestly do it.
Mhm.
Like if they would have set the house, probably Brady would have torched them even more. So hey, the Lions know where they're at, and the Bucs are where they're at for a reason. So
Mhm.
it's either way they slaughtered them. Oh, holy crap! This is, I believe, the first ever. I'm gonna put this up, plus insane. Guru
Thank you.
Collab,
Yeah,
$5. Thank you guys. Keep it up.
I appreciate that
Guys,
very
that
much.
is the first ever super chat ever of Roblox Talk live streams. Awesome. Thank you very, very much. That's cool that it actually does this. I mean, I've never seen this ever.
No, that's
But
awesome.
thank you very, very much. Another cool little, I guess, milestone for RBT. And thank you guys for always putting in that, just coming in the show and just enjoying. But Shitty wasn't looking good midseason. Covina Man, he's back again. It's another newer name from last week.
Yeah.
But just stuff that, I mean, I think Shady is never going to be fully relied on, but he's there when needed.
Mhm.
And this is actually a good question. Do you think Rojo will be back before Falcons game? And do you think he will have 100 yards to have 1,000? I think they'll probably force feed him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the 100 yards. The Falcons' run defense is actually quite good. They're not terrible. Um, I mean, I hope he's back. Yeah, I'd like to see him back this week. I know Bruce mentioned that he could be back for Sunday's game, which is a good sign. But ideally, we just need him back for the playoffs. That's what matters. But um, yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure on the 100 yards though, but it'd be good to see him in there.
Well, I mean, look how much they force fed Evans. I mean, you never
Right,
know.
right. Yeah, for sure. There'll be opportunities. I just don't know if they'll, take advantage of that in the run game.
Oh, I mean, this is something they should have done against the Falcons the first game. Run the
Mhm.
ball. They
Yeah.
spread those wide nines. They spread out their linemen so much. They're undersized. First of all,
Mhm.
attack downhill. Don't force the deep pass. I mean,
Right.
get on them early, and like you say, just keep running the damn ball.
Mhm.
Raymond's in the chat, my man. Brady is on fire 3 times as they approach the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's had, over what is it, 688 yards in the last 2 games, or the last 2 halves he's played. That's crazy. So 320 and then 348. Like,
Raymond on it yet again.
yeah, I mean,
Last 3
that's
games,
yeah,
71%, 934 yards, 8 touchdowns, and a big goose egg for interceptions. For those who are going to listen to the podcast later, insane. I got to
yeah.
throw in the podcast too.
It's crazy. Yeah. He's playing outstanding. And like I said, it just comes down to protection. If we can protect him, he's going to find the open guys.
Absolutely. I mean, TB12, TB to TB. It's insane. Tampa Tommy, anything you want to say of Tom Brady. I mean, I'm freaking wearing a Tom Brady shirt right now. Let's be honest. Pandemonium over here.
Yeah.
uh,
There's a couple questions about, would we sit starters for
oh,
this
here we
week?
go.
Yeah, I talked about this earlier. I think we play them, just let them go out there and play to win. Now, if you get up, like you did against Detroit, then obviously, take guys out in the second half, for sure. But yeah, I think they let the guys play. And then
Let
I
the
think,
boys play.
yeah, let the boys play. And then I see Jack Barrett. He said, wouldn't sit starters, but no need to play guys with nagging injuries, i.e., Carlton Davis. Yeah, I could see where they could rest maybe Carlton for another week, or maybe Ronald Jones if he's not 100%. He still has that broken finger that he's dealing with too. So, um, yeah, there you go, right there. So,
Yeah, Jack Barris, you got some good points. I mean,
mhm. I think I agree with that. Don't
yeah,
force it if it's not necessary. If they're good to go by doctors, then yeah, let them play. But yeah, I wouldn't force the issue.
I mean, if we're talking the same timetable as Chris Godwin, he can probably be there. And it's
Hmm.
probably a situation where you're not going to make it worse. It's just playing through the pain.
Right.
If it's similar to that type of broken finger,
Hmm.
and I mean, I think a running back can play with a broken finger. I'm just going to say. I mean, we don't rely on him to catch the ball that much, but
Right. It's the pinky finger as well. So,
so hey, if he thinks he can play, go ahead. But like the offense of the Bucs do, he may not even get that many running opportunities. So you
right.
never know, right?
Yeah.
Actually, someone said Danny had a good point. So he said Danny Danello said with Tom's short window with the Bucs, I'd be all in for the Bucs bringing McDaniels to replace Byron. Here we go. Also grab running back White from the Pats. Screen problem solved.
That sounds good for next year, but again, that's next year. Let's focus on what's
Yeah,
that task, this week. But yeah, those are good points. I appreciate, that's not a bad idea. But we'll wait till the off season, which will be wild as always.
hopefully way later, so we can have some mighty fine
Yeah,
things to celebrate first.
right.
I mean, and to be honest, he's not wrong to think about that because earlier in the season, we were screaming at the TV and just yelling, Leftwich, what the hell are you doing?
Mhm.
Multiple times. And now, just recently, based off 3 games, we're like, oh, Leftwich is great. Again, don't get too high, don't get too low.
Right.
We're seeing changes. Hopefully, this is a mainstay and consistent thing you're going to see. You never know. It could go back to the shit show in the playoffs where they outcoach themselves. But we'll see. We will truly see. But as of right now, they're trending upwards. A lot of people in the chat were talking about that.
Mhm.
And it's true. I mean, you can't You can't get mad at the pace that they're going, the execution that they're actually executing at, right?
Mhm.
Nestor Cervantes says, "How did you guys feel about TB12 before he became a Buck? I personally cheered him on to win every Super Bowl. Rare to see greatness like this in our lifetime." Plus, your opinion first.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, me personally, I always respected him. I always had a great respect for what Tom Brady did. I wouldn't say I would cheer for him. Usually in the Super Bowls, I usually cheer for the other team just to see something different. But gotta respect him as a player. Never really hated the guy. He's just, I mean, he does it the right way. So there's really no real reason to get mad at the guy. And he's just a great competitor and a great player. And to do it at, the way he's done it over these years, and now 43 years old and probably going to play, I don't know, however long he wants to play. Um, it's pretty special to see.
I'll say this. I agree with you. I respected him. I knew how good he was, and it pissed me off. It did. I mean, as someone who faces against him, you know how competitive he is, but you hope your team can be more and prove
Mhm.
him wrong. He just kept proving everyone wrong and saying, "No, I am that damn good.
Mhm.
Try whatever you want. I'm still going to beat you." And you could just see the quiet confidence in him. And then the Falcons Patriots Super Bowl when they were down, what, 24-3,
28-3.
28-3.
Yeah.
And I remember at halftime, Matt, our friend Matt, comes up
Mhm.
to us. He's like, "Do you think there's any possibility of them coming back? I mean, this is a blowout." I go, "Hell yeah, it is. They have Tom Brady at
Yeah.
quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
if Brady's still up on his feet, there's a chance."
Mhm.
And then boom, boom, boom. Matty Ice turns into Matty break my damn knees. I don't know what the hell happened. Scared out of my shorts. I don't know. But hey, Tom Brady's just another animal, and he proves you wrong time and time again. And I'm happy he's doing it on the Buccaneers right now.
Yeah.
Insane, dude. Let's get to a couple more questions. Edward Fernandez says Godwin had 11 pins. Suck it the hell up. Did he? He had 11 pins? I don't know about
Something
that. Did
something
he?
like, I don't know, something like that. He had a lot of pins in there, but yeah, recently got him removed, so
I know he had a pin. I don't know about 11.
I don't know. Ronald Jones had a couple pins in his finger, so I don't know if that's been removed yet or what.
No, but either way, yeah, either way, they both had pins in their fingers. So
Yeah.
I think it's more to the coach if the coach and doctors will let him play. I think they
Mhm.
all want to play.
Yeah.
But let's keep going on. Here we go. Right, Dobbs. What is a reasonable expectation for these playoffs? I'm not comfortable expecting a Super Bowl. Good question.
Yeah, no, that is good. Yeah, I think, obviously the expectation is Super Bowl for this team. You wanna go as far as you can. I think for me personally, I would just like to see them play good in the playoffs, hopefully make it to the NFC Championship game. But, obviously the team goal is to put that ring on their finger. That's BA, everyone's seen the Amazon Prime with him, talking
Yeah.
to, with the Cardinals. So that's the goal. That's what you play for. And I think that has to be the expectation. I mean, really, if it's not Super Bowl, then why are you going into the playoffs?
No, and I agree with that. It's
Hmm.
it's Super Bowl or bust, but it's not. That's how the players' mentality is. That's what the coaches are because that's what they do. Again, Herm Edwards play to win the game.
Yeah.
But it's for me, my expectations are be competitive in every game,
Yeah. I agree with that.
execute in every game. Because to be honest, if they do execute at the level that they can, there's no reason why we can't win against a majority of these teams, especially with the Saints looking like they're trending down.
Right.
I mean, the Packers look like a team right now that are great, but we know we can beat them.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, someone Jack Trudel said Green Bay will be a challenge in the weather. Good, good point. But Tom Brady is also your quarterback who's played in this weather before.
Yeah.
So if your lead dog is that damn good in that weather, I'm still confident. So it's great. I mean,
Mhm.
if we execute to the way we can, this is almost like a Jameis Winston quote. If we run the plays how we should run the plays, we should win the game. But like if they execute to that level, to Brady's level of execution, they should be in every game. That's what my expectation is. Be in
Mm.
every game, right down to the wire, and a better team will win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Can't get
yeah,
mad at that.
I agree with that. And I'll say more so It's the coaching and the game plan and how they approach it. So if they approach it the right way and how they should attack either offense or defensive, vice versa, then they should be in good hands, because obviously we've seen they have the talent. It's more so how do they attack with said talent? And if they do it the right way, then they should be able to go very far in these playoffs.
Yeah, I mean it's playoffs. We're saying that P word, playoffs.
Yeah, it's bonus
Crazy.
football. It's bonus football that we haven't seen in a very long time. So I can't wait for it. And hopefully, this week goes according to plan and we get a big win. But yeah, this was a good step forward, and it's a big win that we had this past weekend. And now hopefully we can continue to build out on that. And you go into the playoffs with 4 wins in a row, and you see what happens. We've seen time and time again, wild card teams go far in the playoffs and even win the Super Bowl, as we've seen in the past with like teams like the Giants and even Pittsburgh and Packers. Teams like that have done it before.
Here's a little thing going on in the chat. So Edward Fernandez said, "And do you think these young players can play in the snow?" Okay, this isn't like the Bucs from the 90s and early 2000s where it was like our number. If we played in the snow or just below a certain degree, we're almost pigeonholed to lose.
Thank you, 100.
Well, you know what? Let's go down there. Then we'll get right back to Edward. Shoot 100. Thank you very much. We will see. Can the Bucs really push forward with grit, skill, and the wizard teach at the helm, or will they flounder in the NFC Championship game? Bucs and make it in the long haul if this team plays 100% and studies film. I'm sorry, Edward. We're gonna get right back to it. I just couldn't believe it. This Truth 100, new to the chat, new to the live stream, drop down in other. This is the second time on live stream. $20 on the damn. You know what? Very much appreciated. Mm-hmm. Awesome. This is awesome that this is happening. I mean, it's just going late in the playoff push, right? But let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about what he said? Can the Bucs really push forward with grit, skill, and the wizard teach at the helm?
Yeah, I think they can. I think, that's something we spoke on. And yeah, this team has all the pieces in place. And, as long as they, play up to their standard and their capability, they can definitely do it. I mean, we can compete with any team in this league, especially in the NFC side. I think we've shown it. And yeah, now it's just about being consistent with that approach and how we, play call the game and how we attack with our players and, help Brady out on the offense and then use defensively the right way, whether it's Devin White blitzing and, using those safeties coming up in the middle of the field, stuff like that, where we've shown we can be really good. So that needs to continue. And the super chats are coming in here, guys.
Damn, yeah. Right? Guys, you guys are going crazy over here. Jack said, Happy New Year's, guys. Like, Jack Trudel, thank you very much. Happy New Year's to you. Mm-hmm. Happy belated Christmas. I mean, you guys are awesome. Like, we always say you guys make the show, but this is crazy. In the giving mood, I guess, like holiday spirit. But to answer Truth a little bit more, I mean, you're seeing them film study. I mean, Ross Cockrell coming up close on some of these short screen passes, sending in Devin White more, Shaq Barrett and JPP sitting into their zones properly. Like we've been talking about all the beginning, saying that's a weakness that we've had for weeks. It's a glaring, evident weakness. And they're slowly starting to get it. They're understanding defensively. Offensively, you see it now. The past 3 weeks that Raymond brought up evidence of, okay, Tom Brady's insane elite, 71% through 3 games, almost 1,000 yards, like just lighting it up. And then you see more motion, more play action, more 13 personnel, doing things that were totally out of the ordinary before the bye week. We didn't see 13 personnel barely at all. You didn't see anywhere near as much this motion.
Yeah.
They're learning. I mean, they are doing film study both ways. Will they flounder in the championship game? You never know. I mean, any given Sunday, any team can win. I mean, it's not like we're the best team, we're a Pro Bowl team, we're always going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean, everyone's pitching the Chiefs in to the Super Bowl already, saying, oh, best quarterback, best offense, best coach. Who can beat them? Who can beat them? Any given Sunday. I mean, the Jets just beat who was it?
Yeah,
the Browns last week
and
on Sunday.
The Rams 3-4.
And the Rams. So, did anyone think the Jets are going to win that?
No.
Anyone. So it truly is any given Sunday. Who wants to beat who? I mean, I watched the Texans win this last week because JPP got pissed off and said all that crap about how they need to play harder. I mean,
I mean
this is
JJ
their,
Watt. Yeah.
or who do I say? JPP?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, JJ Watt. Forgive me
Mhm.
on the Texans.
Mhm. But JPP would say that.
For real. He said it before,
Yeah.
right? I believe
Yeah.
it was last year he said it,
Mhm.
or it was Cutter's last year. But
Right.
and now you have guys wanting to win more than let me just collect my salary and go sit the
Mhm.
bench.
Yeah.
But let's get back to Edward's question. I wanted to touch on this. Like, do
Mhm.
you think these young guys can win in the snow?
Yeah, definitely. It's just a mindset, and these guys have played in cold weather before, whether it be college or NFL. Yeah, I don't think it plays a huge factor. Obviously, it's a factor, but it's not a end all be all. These guys they're going to play and they're going to play hard, and I think they'll be fine whether they have to go in snow or play in a dome, whatever. They'll be okay.
Yeah, and a lot of our guys, I may be thinking too much into this,
Mhm.
but a lot of our great players, okay, played at Miami. Derek Brooks played at Florida State. I
Mhm.
mean, a lot of our big name guys worked on Florida State.
Mhm.
Were like Florida lower South teams.
Mhm.
Maybe they just weren't used to it. I mean, our dominant guys just couldn't play up to par.
I think that was more of a mindset, and honestly, we didn't have a quarterback during those times.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, Tom Brady has been here and been there many times playing in snow games. I mean, so I think that plays a big factor. He'll have the confidence of his players around him. He'll build confidence for others, and I think they'll play relaxed and play good. But again, we're not at that point. We don't even know if that's going to be happening. So, um, this is all future telling. So,
Right.
but let's enjoy this moment. I think that's the key that we're trying to say here is it's a big win. Let's enjoy the week. We got one more game of the regular season. It's a big
Yeah.
game too. Finish the season strong. 5-3 at home would be a nice bounce back from previous years, and 11-5 is nothing to be ashamed of. So let's go get it.
And there's still, I mean, and one other thing in the snow, like I was touching on the guys from the South playing. I mean, Winfield, rookie, Minnesota, used to snow. Levante, Nebraska, Sioux,
Mhm.
Nebraska. JPP's played in snow. I mean, we just got Shaq Barrett played in snow, Denver. And
Yeah.
these guys, a lot of our guys have done well. Chris
Mhm.
Godwin, Penn State, snow. Tom Brady, obviously. I mean, AB's probably played in snow games. I mean, it's not like they're blind to it. Either way, football is football. You execute. I don't care what temperature it is. These guys need to execute, and it's just more sticking to what's going on in here. Don't worry about how you're feeling on the outside. Mind over matter.
Yeah. You're saying the question was more for the defense, but yeah, I
Oh,
think
I've
I
done a lot
think
of different players.
Yeah, I think that's same case. Like you just said, yeah. All the defense players that we have, they're used to it. Um, I think it'll be good. It'll be good for them if that is the case. And hopefully if we do win, we'll play, probably the Packers in the second round because they are the number 1 seed. So hopefully that is the case. We can go up there and we beat their ass. But again, we're not there yet. So
I'm right there with you.
yeah,
I'm right there with you.
we got a long way to go. Long way to go.
Yeah, let's just focus on Atlanta first, because I do want to beat Atlanta.
Hmm.
Well, on that, let me just give a couple more kudos to the Lions game before we move on, because we're not going to do Falcons breakdown just yet. Save that for later in the week, guys.
Yeah,
And
that'll be
these film
coming.
studies are going to be fun. To be honest, it's a lot of offensive highlights. Be prepared. Hey, like I had almost stopped getting plays. There was way too many damn good plays. But I mean, the Lions game, we touched on it a lot. We're very creative with the play calls. Yes, some people said because when you're up 27-0, you can get that way, but you got 27-0 for a reason. There was
Mm,
great sequencing. There was little runs that used to go for either 0 or 1 that went for 4 to 5. Love the way they were running the ball. Love the way they were executing on play action passes. Love the timing, sequencing. We always mention that
mhm.
they do terrible most of the time. This game was great. Doesn't matter. It's a lesser opponent. They did well. Defensively, they got off the ball. They got off the field
Right.
consistently.
Yeah.
I don't care if Stafford's not there. Either way, it's an NFL team.
Mhm.
They execute.
Yeah, shout out to Jeremiah Ledbetter, Anthony Nelson, and Herb Miller. all made really
Yeah.
big plays. Herb got his interception, and the other two got their first career sacks. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, Herb Miller got that interception. Someone said Edwards Fernandez said looked like he had a little more instinct than SMB. A small sample size,
Yeah.
but hey, I like that we have him in the cupboard. Don't get me wrong
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, guys, we're going over an hour now.
Mhm.
Let's
I'll answer this one last question
go ahead.
by Patrick Hicks here. If we don't get to the NFC Conference Championship, at least is
Ooh,
season failure. I'll just say this. I mean, if you're not, the last team standing, then the season's a failure. And I think all 31 teams, would feel that same way, outside of the champion. So if you're not the champion, then yeah, you failed. I mean, because that's the goal. The goal is to win the championship. So yeah, that's how I look at it. A little Moneyball reference there, but if anyone's seen that movie, if you're not the last one, then what are we doing this for? So yeah, you go out there and try to win the ring.
Brad Pitt did a damn good job in that movie.
That's a great movie. Much better than Draft Day, even though I love Draft Day, but yeah, Moneyball is really good.
Would it be a failure for the morale of the team? No, because you're trending upwards. You're nowhere near that for years, for 13 years.
Right.
I mean, you haven't even made the playoffs. So we're where we need to be, or where we want to be, where we need to be is contention for Super Bowls. It is very possible. Once you get in, anything can happen.
Right.
I would not at all think it's a failure. If we get blown out 38-0 or something like that, yeah, I'd be a little bit mad. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Other than that, let me get these last couple things in, and then we'll call it. Would you guys like to see more Scotty Miller in the playoffs?
Yes.
I agree. Just give me some like shorter, just rub routes, just things where get him in space. Bolt ones, he's not exactly shredded. Oh, why does Fournette run like he's not 220? He's not 220 pounds. I don't know. Plus we'll give you his takes on that, but not now. That'd go too long. You need to use everyone to keep him guessing. Danny Danilo said great movie about Moneyball.
Yeah.
Other than that, guys, you know what? Let's call it this one. Great win by the Bucs, 47-7. Great live stream, guys. Thank you for the super chats. That was freaking awesome. Like that blew us away. Literally blew me away. But
yeah, thank you guys.
Cheers to y'all. Thank you very, very much. I mean, go Bucs. Let's keep moving forward. Let's get to that Super Bowl status. Other than that, Plus, any last words?
No, just thank you all for who joined us, and look forward to our next videos that will come out on our YouTube channel. Be sure to keep the lookout for that. We got film studies and game preview for Sunday's game.
All right, guys. Have a good night.